Have you ever walked into a room and felt as though you had stepped into another time? That's the magic of vintage. Every chair, every frame, every lamp carries a story waiting to be rediscovered. On today's episode of Vintage Home TV, we're diving into a transformation that proves you don't need a grand budget to create a timeless masterpiece. Welcome to Vintage Home TV, your cozy space for antique treasures, vintage charm, and timeless home decor inspiration to bring elegance and history into your home. We'll explore the art of uncovering vintage finds and weaving them into a Victorian tiny house makeover. From ornate decor to subtle details, we'll show you how to give your home inside a sense of history, charm, and warmth, all without sacrificing practicality or comfort. This isn't about chasing perfection, but about embracing character and telling a story through your space. So get ready to see how the past meets the present, how a small house can feel expansive with the right touches, and how each corner can reflect your personality. By the end of this journey, you'll discover that vintage design isn't just about style. It's about building a home that feels lived in, loved, and unforgettable. Cozy Victorian charm. The living room is where the heartbeat of any home truly begins. For a Victorian tiny house, this is your stage to showcase history with comfort. Imagine a soft velvet armchair tucked into a corner, paired with a thrifted lace curtain filtering golden light. Layer in a vintage trunk as your coffee table, practical, yet full of stories. Don't be afraid of mixing textures. Wood, brass, and even a little chipped paint all add soul to your home inside. where practicality meets nostalgia. In the kitchen, vintage finds shine brightest when they're both useful and beautiful. A cast iron pan on display, ceramic jars labeled with a handwritten touch, or a repurposed wooden crate as shelving, these give your space a timeless warmth. Victorian kitchens celebrated craftsmanship, so keep your eyes out for second-hand copper pots or enamel teapots. Remember, every little piece of decor adds to the narrative of your home. A table set for stories. The dining room, no matter how tiny, can still feel grand. Start with a second-hand wooden table, one with scuffs and scratches that whisper of meals past. Pair mismatched chairs with thrifted slipcovers, and top the table with a lace tablecloth for an instant Victorian vibe. A chandelier, even a small, budget-friendly one, instantly elevates your decor. When your guests step into this part of your home inside, they should feel like they've stepped back in time. A sanctuary of vintage dreams. The bedroom is your private retreat, so layer it with vintage finds that feel personal. A wrought iron bed frame, secondhand embroidered linens, and old picture frames hung gallery style create intimacy. Don't overlook bedside tables. A stack of vintage books topped with a teacup can double as one. Victorian-inspired decor thrives on storytelling, so let your bedroom whisper those tales. Elegance in the details. Bathrooms in tiny homes can feel limiting, but with vintage touches, they transform into elegant sanctuaries. Add a freestanding mirror with a gilded frame, thrift a small porcelain basin, or even use apothecary jars for everyday items. The key is in the details: a floral soap dish, vintage hooks, or a lace-trimmed curtain. Every small touch adds layers of decor without breaking the budget. a vintage escape. Step outside and let your garden extend the Victorian story. Use repurposed furniture like a painted iron bench or old watering cans turned into planters. Worn terracotta pots filled with herbs not only look timeless, but also keep your budget happy. The charm of vintage decor is that imperfection is celebrated. Weathered wood, chipped paint, and rust all belong here. First impressions matter. Your entryway sets the tone for the home inside. Even the tiniest nook can become a vintage welcome. Add a thrifted coat rack, a small antique mirror, or a basket for shoes with character. Victorian homes were all about layered details, so think of textures, woven mats, lace runners, and wood accents to greet every guest with warmth. hidden potential. Never underestimate the forgotten corners. A tiny Victorian house makeover thrives on these unexpected details. Add a vintage chair under a stairwell, a gallery wall of old postcards, or even a small side table with a brass lamp. These little touches transform blank spaces into moments of delight. It's here that your personality and decor choices shine brightest. Functional vintage flair. Tiny houses demand smart storage, and vintage finds are perfect solutions. Old trunks, wooden crates, and glass front cabinets double as decor while keeping your essentials tucked away. Instead of hiding storage, make it part of your home inside design. A Victorian makeover is all about celebrating pieces that feel lived in and useful. telling your story. Finally, the magic lies in the details. A lace doily under a vase, vintage clocks ticking softly, or a teacup collection displayed proudly. Every vintage find, no matter how small, adds to the story of your Victorian-inspired tiny house. Remember, it's not about perfection, but about creating a space where charm and character thrive. And there you have it, a budget-friendly guide to turning a tiny house into a Victorian-inspired treasure trove. We've explored how vintage finds, carefully chosen decor, and a creative vision can redefine your home inside into a space filled with charm and timeless character. If you enjoyed this makeover journey and feel inspired to bring vintage warmth into your own space, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Vintage Home TV, and share this video with friends who dream of their own Victorian escape. Together, we're not just designing homes, we're crafting stories.